Hello and welcome back to the ministry. All right, this morning I've got a word for you guys. Today's been one of those mornings, but the devil shall not prosper. So, when it comes down to it, you have to understand you are fighting a battle that you must not conform to this world, but be transformed on a daily basis in the renewing of your mind, renewing of your heart, renewing of your spirit. Because if you don't, the daily little things that the enemy does to you, it will make you so upset and irritated. I've told you before, and I'm going to tell you again. The enemy has, a lot of people say that he has a 3-part agenda to steal, kill, and destroy, but it's even more than that. It's the fact that it's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and social attack. Then it's through your eye gates, your ears, your smell, your mouth, and what you touch. I tell you this all the time. Don't ever forget it. These should be the 11 things that you should just always write down. And he uses those 3 ways in order to keep you scrambling. Because as long as he can use those 5 the 5 things plus the other 6, which is mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, social, and financial, he'll keep coming at you. He could come at you. What was my point? I was commiserating with the Lord yesterday in my holy baptism of a bath. And I came to this understanding, and this is probably why he made me fall in the shower this morning, because he's a punk and he's mad. That his agenda in this season, follow me very carefully, because now I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay? His agenda is to first get you in fear. I'm going to get you afraid. Sometimes fear isn't the easiest thing that he can come to you with, so he's got to create an open door. I saw that this morning. My father was on the phone because there was a passing away in the family. And this is what the enemy is doing in this season. But be careful, because some of the people that are passing away in this season, some of them are the devil taking these people out in order to cause confusion. And some of these are God taking these people out because it's just time for them to go. Okay? Understand, pray, seek the Lord. Pray. Stand. And the devil is angry. So he's speaking in this season, all right? Pay attention to the people that are closest to you, because if you know that you got a person, I remember when I used to watch the Braxtons years ago, when Trina was married, her husband used to always she used to call him like the negative Ned in the family, because he would just say everything negative, and it drove her to drink all the time. Some of y'all got that person in your family that they will speak death to anything. You can't tell them nothing at all. Because if you tell them, they'll kill it just by speaking their mouth. So if you're in a season of elevation and you notice that the closest person to you is the person that speaks death, I don't know what to do about that. I really don't. Because unless God chooses to remove you from that person, if they're in your vicinity, you're going to be constantly fighting a spiritual battle of you speaking life and them speaking death. It is. I was listening to my coach the other day, and she was making the point of saying that when you are in a season of elevation, sometimes your how is what you're not doing, but sometimes your how is the fact that The reason that things aren't moving forward for you is because you got people around you that are sucking the life out of what it is that you're trying to do. For no reason whatsoever can you get anything done, because the second that you're close to something, this person or people, because the devil always makes sure that if he can't get to you through people, he's going to get to you through you. I was listening to Megan Michelle the other day. She was making a point of saying this. Because you can isolate yourself down to one person, and that one person's holes will always be hit to the point that they will dump on you. Which brings me to my next point. I was standing in my kitchen yesterday, cooking dinner. And when we were talking about the cleaning video that I did, people have a tendency not want to clean up their mess. So what they'll do, and I noticed this was older people all the time, is because they don't want to clean up their mess, because they would actually have to go through it, process through it, and actually deal with it. Most people don't want to go through the process. So they either want to do one of two things. They would rather not deal with it at all, which is immaturity, or they want to throw it all away. And this is part of that cleaning process that they don't want to do. Some of you trying to get to the end of your process will want to rush the outcome. Why am I speaking of this? Because this actually leads into what I'm about to say next. Some of you are at the brink of your breakthrough, and what the enemy is doing is he's putting a level of intimidation. If you have people around you that are going through something because they don't know how to process their emotions and sit with God about things, they will speak death to the scenario. I literally watched my dad do it this morning. As soon as he heard death, he started to speak death immediately. I was like, oh my God. Which reminds me of something I got to do immediately after I'm done with this video, because in relation to that situation. So, you have to realize in a season of elevation, what the enemy's going to do is try to distract. I remember one season, it was about a year and a half ago, I was doing something, and I knew that the enemy was bringing distraction, because it was funny, because I was on my computer or my phone, and I was on YouTube, and I was looking at something, and underneath of it, an advertisement called distraction kept coming up, and I was like, distraction? What? The enemy is bringing distraction at a point of elevation, because the enemy knows that you need to remain focused in this season. Like I said this morning, I fell, and now some people, because they fell, they would be like, oh, I'm not going to get up. I'm going to go curl up on the couch, which is the worst thing you could possibly do after a fall, because once you lay down, follow me, if you lay down after you've fallen, your bones and your muscles are going to seize up. So when you actually try to get up and start moving again, you're going to be stiff, you're going to be in pain, you're going to be what have you. Yeah, I fell this morning. I'm going to keep on moving. Let me tell you something about me. Okay, follow me. I, about 2 years ago, hit this hand. This is my dominant hand. This is my hand I write with. I hit it. I could have went to the hospital and had it taken care of. I did not. I put a temporary something on it to make sure that I could still use it, and I've been using it ever since. I did not stop. I did not halt what I was doing. I kept it moving. I fell this morning. I could have stopped. I could have curled up in bed and said, I fell. I'm going to not me. About 5 years ago, I was in New York, and I was on an escalator. The escalator threw me 10 feet. I got up and kept on walking. They asked me, do you want to go to the hospital? No, I got up, kept on walking. Because that's the type of person I am. I am not going to stop what I'm doing because Oh, you fell. No. I remember I was walking in the street about 3 years ago. I just come out of the lot less in New York, and my ankle gave out on me. I literally slid to the floor. I got right back up and kept on moving. You have to understand, in seasons when you're about to elevate, the worst thing you can do, you hear me, the worst thing you can do is stop. Okay? Yeah, I slipped. Yeah, I fell. But yeah, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep it moving. Getting back to my original stasis of point. What the enemy will do, he'll try to knock you down. Didn't work. Got back up. Keep it moving. Next, he will bring about fear. So, there's death happening in the family. All right. Because of that, am I supposed to stop what I was doing? Not going to happen. They got a funeral tomorrow. Keep it moving. So you got things happening. What will happen is fear will come in and start to choke out. If it can't choke you, it'll try to choke somebody near you. Keep moving forward. Keep doing what you're called to do. Because what you have to say could help somebody else. This is a season of elevation. It's because you see death. Doesn't mean you stop. You pray for the family, you pray for the people, you pray for the grieving people. If it's the Lord's will, you pray the will of God upon the situation. If it's not the Lord's will for that situation to turn out that way, you pray that God cover it. Okay? And you keep it moving. You fall, you get back up, you keep it moving. Okay? Next, what's the next thing that happens? If the enemy can get in with death or fear or what have you, it's going to speak that thing, and then it's going to bring in a level of intimidation, because what it is it may not be happening to you because it's happening around you. It's one meant to distract you and derail you from what it is that you're trying to do in that season, but you're supposed to keep moving forward. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Because it's a level of confusion in order to try to stop you from getting where you're trying to go, because you are in a moment of progress. This is a spirit that I've seen happen over and over. Every time I'm near breakthrough, this is what happens. Intimidation comes to the closest person to me, and then a level of domination in order to try to stop you from moving forward. And what it's supposed to do, thank you, Apostle Youngblood just recently did a video 3-4 months ago where he talked about you got to be careful of obstruction, hindrance, delay, and derailment, because all of that's meant to make you what? Collapse in your season of manifestation. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. You are at the brink of something, and what's supposed to happen is it's something that's supposed to come in and distract you. Death around you, death this, that. The people around you getting irritated, angry, cussing, all this kind of stuff. They got a dominant spirit of frustration upon them, but you sitting there cool, calm, and chill as a cucumber. And they were sitting there wondering, why are you not irritated? I literally sat there yesterday and watched my family member. They were hemming and hawing. This is all they do. When something's irritating them, they hem and haw. You know what I tell? This is what I pray. I'm going to tell you what to pray. Okay? Go into your word. Go into Psalms. Go to Psalm 141:3. Pray that. There's a scripture in relation to Zacharias. When Elizabeth was going to give birth to their son, Zacharias spoke death. Zacharias spoke all these kinds of things. What did God decree? God decreed, because this is a completely different scripture. I'm not exactly sure what the address is, but the story of Zacharias being, his mouth was shut, because the angel literally said, okay, because of this, I'm going to shut Zacharias' mouth until the miracle takes place, because he cannot speak until after this child is born. Pray that over the people around you. Pray it. Begin to pray that. Because, see, if they knew what you were trying to birth, I never tell anybody what I'm working on. Ever. I've had some successes because I don't tell them what I'm working on. Because what will happen is their distraction, their confusion, it'll try to suck the life out of it, okay? Next, with that have being said, you also have to be aware of the fact that you're in a season where opportunities are coming. If you allow the pressure happening to the people around you to distract you, I'm going to give you a perfect example. I'm going to give you a sentence. You insert your thing. You need to blank. I wish you would blank. Why haven't you blank? This is usually what comes up in the season that you're about to elevate, because what the enemy wants to do is distract you with the things that the enemy wants you to focus on. And you have to be careful about that, because what will happen is pride can slip in right in that spot, because you'll start to say, why haven't I? I should have. God, why ain't you let me? And then you'll start to try to put your own hands in the situation. The other week, same person that I was talking about, the family member this morning, same person opened their mouth and said to me, well, why don't you this? And how come you don't? And because of that, and this, that, and the other. And they came at me in a succession of things. I realized what it was. I sat, let it marinate for about 5 seconds. Got up, went into prayer. Came back, shut their mouth. Now, I could sit there and allow what was said to make me go into a headspace of one of two directions I can go. This is your blank. How come you don't? Insert your thing. How come you this? Insert your thing. You never this. Insert your thing. Whatever that thing is for you. Then what the enemy will try to do is he'll let that sit on you for a couple of days. You'll pray against it and so on and so forth. But he'll let that sit on you. And then you'll start to see things. Opportunities. And what will happen is the enemy wants you to open a door at this point, because he just attacked you. And what the attack will do is sometimes push you into going directly into the thing that the enemy wants to open the door to, because he gets you riled up, because you in that fight mode. And especially if he knows how you work, that you're a fighter, you're going to either A, go directly into what they asked you to do, meaning whatever it was that they were attacking you on, you're going to search into that, which is actually you going backwards into whatever it was, your old reaction, meaning, yeah, they attacked me in that way, I'm going to prove this to them. So you're going to go and try to get that thing that they asked you, which opens the door to you opening an opportunity that wasn't meant for you to open up. Number 2, you'll start to chase what God told you were supposed to get in this season. And you'll be like, I'm going to go do this. And you'll start getting all those messages saying, go for it. Do this, do this, do this. And then you got to also stand still. Be like, God, is this my time, or you got me in a wait? Am I supposed to be resting, or should I be running? If I'm supposed to be running, I need you to show me where that is. Because what the enemy will do, it'll be like, okay, I want to open a door, but I need to open the door to that thing that is lesser than what it is that I'm trying to give her in this season. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I saw a coach, and she gave a good word. It's like, you need to figure out, a lot of you trying to figure out how. A lot of you trying to do this. A lot of you trying to do that. And I'm like, yeah. And my brain, what I started to do was have melancholy thoughts of like, this ain't me. I used to be that person that used to go out to the events. I used to be that person that used to go out to the seminars, conferences, this, that, the other thing. Hold up. Am I supposed to be there in this season? Is that where I'm supposed to be? Or does God have me in a resting season? Does God have me in a praying season? If it is my season to go out, God, you need to lead me to that place I'm supposed to go out into. Yes? Because what we'll start doing is we'll be like, man, I used to do that. And because you got that encourager, sometimes it's your coach, sometimes you'll start running, because it wasn't particularly that you were running towards that thing because you were ready to run towards that thing. It was because, remember the devil in your back ear saying, you need to do. So because of that, you're going to go into that, I'm going to prove them wrong because I'm going to go do that thing that I used to do. I'm going to go into them rooms. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. If I went to those old places, meaning if I went to those places that I know that I can get interaction with in business, I'm going to tell you right now. 6 months ago, I was in a business conference call with them. Actually, I watched a recording of their business conference call. I haven't been involved in it in almost 2.5 years. And what I've come to find is they've turned over to law of attraction, an ungodly principle. And the other thing that you got to look out for in this season, let me just open the whole door right there. You've got to look out for law of attraction, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. All that is speaking words that have been pretty much manipulated in order to cast a verbal spell over a person through business. And you also have to look out for spiritual intuitives, because spiritual intuitives will also try to do spell work over you. They're pretty much psychics covering themselves as business representatives, okay? In the business world. Just thought I'd share that, because you got to be aware of that. And this law of attraction thing, and I'm seeing this new thing from Think and Grow Rich, where everybody's talking about the transmogrification or transmutation thing, where you're using your sexual energy, and instead of using it in work, in the realm of sex, you're using it in your work. And I'm sitting there like, what is this? Yeah. So you got to be careful about what rooms, and places that you're going into in this season. Because these people are practicing God knows what. I used to, and it was like my brain went to that place where I was like, I used to go into these business rooms. I was chopping it up. I was networking. I was getting information. We was hooking up some stuff. I could get networking people and contacts in a minute. And God had to put me in my moment. It's like, what season is you in right now? I was like, you know what? You're right. Too many people sitting up here talking about law of attraction and NLP and this, that, and the other. I better not be out here just jumping in because I feel uncomfortable, because the devil in my back pocket over here in my left ear want to say, you should be doing. That was the point. He wanted to push you. I never forget something that my coach said. She did a video about 2-3 years ago, and she made the point of saying, she was making the example of talking about somebody who had just gotten an opportunity, and she told the person, pause, wait. And it's like, this is a good opportunity. I heard Megan Michelle say something like this as well, that sometimes everybody will tell you, this is the time, you should be doing this, why ain't you doing that, and you're sitting up there like, because God did not tell me to move yet. God has already, some of y'all done sat with the Lord. The Lord already told you, expect this, and expect this. Don't move till you see that. And what the enemy is doing is he's coming up behind you and pressing your buttons and trying to intimidate and trying to throw this at you and trying to bring fear in. Because if he can bring fear in, fear is going to open the door to allow intimidation, to allow these things to come in to make you move out of the position, because he cannot stop your blessing. But he can get you to move out of position. Because if I get into the mode, let's say this is my season for marriage. If I'm over here getting frustrated because somebody said this to me over here in my left ear, and I'm angry, and I know I got a bunch of business plans, and I know I got all of this, I'm going to take what I got and I'm going to go into the business rooms and I'm going to chop it up and I'm going to go to the business meetings. And God was like, but I needed you sitting in the house and in prayer and seeking my face in this season, because I was going to send the opportunity directly to your door, but because you had to be all the way over on east side of the state you live in, because you got to do this your way, the opportunity is in front of your house and you on the east side of the city. Calm it down, sit down, get centered. Just because everybody else is having their issue, just because death is being spoken over everything else, don't get distracted in this season and derail and be out of place of where God told you to be, when your blessings are there to meet you. Because what the enemy wants you to do is you to be somewhere else when the thing is knocking on your door and they looking for you. They're like, oh, they're not there. Oh, I want you on the phone with somebody else that ain't gonna help you, but it sound real good when the person is calling to actually give you the opportunity that is gonna help you. Cost you. Once you over there chasing that other thing and trying to get things structured and this, that, and the other, and creating this business of your own doing with your own hands, when God's over there, well, your hands is busy. I had this business thing over here for you, but I couldn't give that to you because you got irritated and impatient and started walking in pride and ran over there. But you understand what I'm saying? Sit tight with God this season. Hold on and know that God's got you in this season. Hold on. I like listening to music, and right in this moment, I'm hearing two different songs. For my extremely religious Christian people, go listen to Fred Hammond, Hold On with Monica and what's his name, James Fortune. For my non-extremely religious people, go listen to Maya's Hold On. Those that like rap and all that kind of stuff, it's not really that bad, but it is one curse word in there, I think. I'm not sure, but I'm going to say it is one, just to be certain. So, but that'll get you riled up. Both of them will. But you just got to hold on in this season, because your blessing is right there. I was listening to a word from Diani Neves yesterday, and she was talking about you are in your season, that the blessing is literally right at your doorstep. Don't get distracted about here in these streets. People, I am literally hearing people in this season saying, I'm waiting for marriage. And I knew that I was waiting for marriage. But guess what? I still decided to entertain the counterfeit. Why? You know, some of these people know who their spouse is, and they why are you wasting your time? Deani Nez released a word about this time last year, I'm not sure, and it was called "It May Be the Day," but it's like it's gonna be tomorrow, but it could have been today. And she talked about having had a dream that she got an invitation to go somewhere, and through her niceness of liking to be in the obligation because it was family, because it was this, she desired to go. So she went. But actually, in that moment, when she got to where she was going, she got a phone call from her kingdom spouse saying, you want to go out tonight? And she was like, I can't because I'm here at this thing, and coming to the realization, she hadn't even entered the thing. And she was like, why am I here? Then she had to make plans to go with that person the next day. It was still coming, but it was now delayed. Be careful you're not in the wrong place doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, delaying the outcome of what it is that you were supposed to walk into because you allowed the enemy to move you out of position. This is something that always happens just before breakthrough with me. What will happen is I'll be ready, I'll be in position, I'll go to the thing, but what will happen is something will happen and either the other person is delayed and I'll have to come back within 24 hours of that thing. But hey, it got me the ability to have the direction. It got me the ability to know where I was going. It gave me that direction. But I still got delayed because I wasn't able to get there until the next time. I always end up having to do it twice. And I'm like, why do we always do this? Why can't we just get there in one fell shot? You have to allow certain things to happen in this season. It may not happen when you want it to, but that thing that you have to redo positions you and prepares you for when you actually have to walk into it. Be prepared, be vigilant. This is your season. Until next time, peace out.